We go back to Minnesota. It's been a while.
Why?
Remember Alex Pretti?
Who?
You know, that wonderful male nurse, protester,
What?
standing up for the cause,
What?
pillar of the community? Well, they talked to his family 7 months after the fatal shooting by those evil ICE agents.
Yeah,
I'm Jazz Borganzo on this. I wonder if they spoke about him cussing out federal agents,
Hold up.
doing damage to federal property,
Wait a minute.
and carrying a gun with multiple clips
Wait a minute.
before he was so ended abruptly
Something ain't right.
and taken from us.
Stop it! Please!
But it's what's next. Hey, happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Jazz Borganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this day. Once again, we're going back to the WNBA. No, we're not. Maybe tomorrow. But it's been a while. But we're going back to Minnesota. Yes, home of the Great Lakes. Or is that Michigan? Anyway, wonderful Minnesota, home of the Vikings, home of the the Minnesota Twins, and home of the wonderful, amazing, the greatest governor in the history of man, Tim Tampon Walz. And speaking of Tim Tampon Walz, the shenanigans that went on in Minnesota last year into this year, and of course, the situations that occurred. One of those situations was Alex Pretti. Remember him? Along with Renee Good, pillars of the community, people who gave back to the community, who held hands, sang kumbaya, just good overall people. And remember, what they were doing was for the cause. Well, they talked to his family 7 months after the fatal shooting by those evil, despicable, disgusting ICE agents. And I wonder if they talked about this pillar of the community cussing out federal agents, doing damage to federal property, and of course, carrying a gun with multiple clips before he got in the face of those ICE agents, well, before he was so abruptly ended and taken from us. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Alex Pretti parents' sister interviewed 7 months after the fatal shooting. Tuesday on ABC's Good Morning America, the parents of Alex Pretti, who was shot and killed January 24th in Minneapolis, Michael and Susan Pretti, along with his sister, Michaela, spoke with George Stephanopoulos. Let's hear them.
Let me express all of our condolences. It's so hard for all of us to imagine what you've been through over the last 7 months. My first question is, it has been 7 months.
Before he continues, it's about 11 minutes long. I'm not going to play the full 11 minutes. I'm just going to play a little bit, and then we'll go into the text.
Why do you want to speak now?
Or the transcript.
We really want to get the facts out of what happened to Alex that day. I mean, we've seen what happened. The videos are pretty clear. But we want justice, we want accountability for the people that did this to Alex.
If you say you want to get the facts out, let's start with the facts about your son, your brother. Who was Alex?
He was a good man.
He's a good kid.
He cared deeply about his community. Minneapolis was his community. He wanted people to be treated fairly, no matter what walk of life, what their background was.
You call Alex your hero.
I do.
Why?
Because of who he was as a person. I aspire to be like him. He always stood up for what he believed in.
And that's what brought him into the streets, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he tell you about why he was protesting?
He wasn't really protesting. I mean, and that's one thing we want to be clear. The day he was murdered, he was not at a protest. He was an observer.
Yeah.
And that's why he had his phone.
January 24th. Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old American citizen and ICU nurse for the Department of Veterans Affairs, was shot and killed by 2 federal immigration officers in Minneapolis. Roughly 2 weeks after Renee Good, also a U.S. citizen, was shot and killed by an ICE officer during Operation
They had to
Metro
emphasize
Surge,
U.S. citizen.
a federal immigration enforcement campaign by the Trump administration. Eyewitness video shows Pretti recording when a federal officer shoves a woman into him. Pretti appears to try and help the woman. Both of his hands are visible, one holding a phone, the other held up to protect himself from pepper spray. Then he's wrestled to the ground. The 2 federal officers seen here pointing their guns at Pretti. His firearm, which he had a legal permit to carry, was removed by an officer while Pretti was on the ground, and before 10 shots were fired.
Now, okay, Michael Pretti, we really want to get the facts out that happened to Alex that day. He continued, he was a good man, a good kid. Asked about the protesting by Stephanopoulos. The father said he wasn't really protesting. I mean, that was the one thing we want to make clear. The day he was murdered, he was not a protest. He was not a protest. He was an observer, and that's why he had his phone. He continued. We watched it on TV, and it was like, that's our son, and that's Alex, and they ended him. No one called us. Susan Pretti, with the camera in one hand and left hand empty in the air. She added, I was not shocked that he helped somebody. My shock that he was murdered and had no one given us the complete truth or anyone has been held accountable. It's been 7 months. The father, there was more effort in vilifying him than pursuing justice, investigating this. Stephanopoulos, you heard Stephen Miller use the word assassin, use the word domestic terrorist. Some of those posts are still up. The sister, yes, we still hear those words about, this is the mother, excuse me. We still hear those words about our child, a kid who is out observing something that shouldn't have happened in the world today in the United States. Why? What did he do to deserve to be murdered, left cold on the ground, dead? My child, what did he do? My thoughts. I'm not going to berate the parents or the sister because they have a right to mourn. It's been 7 months, understandably so, you know. A family member has been taken away. A child has been taken away from the parents. A brother's taken away from the sisters. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is that he was not an observer. 2 weeks prior, he was yelling at federal agents, cussing at federal agents, did damage to one of the vehicles. And then 2 weeks later, of course, 2 weeks later, I say 2 weeks before, 2 weeks later, is when the fatality occurred. He had a legal right to carry the gun. Rightly so, under Minnesota state gun laws. But the fact of the matter is that why would he have the gun there with multiple clips? He had a full round in the gun and he had 2 clips on him the day of the shooting. Why? If you're just an observer, you're not protesting. If you're just an observer, you're standing back, you're watching what's happening, you're making your voice heard. Why would you come there armed? Did you expect something to happen? Did you want something to happen? You just can't negate these things. Now, I didn't go through the whole 11 minutes of the interview. It's possible that they could have brought that up, that Stephanopoulos might have brought that up. More than likely not, because of who George Stephanopoulos is and what company he works for. Anyway, but at the end of the day, he was not an observer. He was a protester. And he was a belligerent protester on top of it. So for a guy who gave back to his community, who was a nurse for Veteran Affairs, and more power to him, the facts are what the facts are, is that he was not this great guy. He got in people's faces. There are multiple videos, multiple days where they showed him, confronting ICE agents, berating ICE agents, which led up to the 2 weeks, then which led up afterwards to the fatality. But I'm just pointing out facts. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.